This is Soul Side Up. I'm your host, Sol. Welcome to an hour of beautiful conversation. Open your heart and enjoy. Hi everyone, it's with great pleasure that I'm now not alone today. I'm bringing in Louise Edington. You've probably seen her before on my podcast because she was here once before. And it's with great joy that how many planets do you have in Sagittarius, Louise?
Oh, I have 4 and rising.
Yeah, it's with great pleasure to have such a dynamic woman, born under mutable Jupiterian vibes to come and sit about and talk about her new book, Ceres. What's the subtitle? Do you have it there? Sarah?
It's Ceres in Astrology, Nourishment, Power, and the Rebirth of the Feminine. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Wonderful. Yeah. Before that, I just want to do a little bit of, inform you all about a art and astrology retreat that me and Adrianne Tamar, a world-renowned painter, I'd say, a lot of you know her probably because she's a visionary artist and she makes these incredible paintings, and she wanted to work with me with astrology and art, which is we usually say that astrology is an art form, right? So the Mythic Soul is a retreat that we are hosting in Norway, beautiful Norwegian mountains and woods, at the fabulous spot called Dharma Mountain. It's a meditation retreat center that we've rented, all of it, so it's only ours, and we're gonna have so much fun with painting, astrology, meditation. There's a little lake where we can swim, and we're gonna finish it off with a celebration of the eclipses, because the last day there's an eclipse. So of course we had to weave that in, and I'm sure it's going to be very nourishing both for the mind and the soul and the heart. This is happening the 1st to the 8th of September, and there's going to be a link underneath. So that was the commercial breaks. Now, Louise, tell me a little bit about the process of writing this book. I mean, I know you have a very prominent Ceres placement in your chart.
I do. She's conjunct my ascendant, and she's at the degree where I thought my ascendant was till I had my chart rectified. So to Capricorn, but I'm actually Sagittarius rising, so 28 degrees 59 minutes Sagittarius rising. So they're very close to each other. And this book, I actually started writing it ages ago, and I kept going away and coming back and working more with Ceres. And then suddenly I was just like, no, this book needs to be out in the world. So I buckled down and pulled it all together and finished it. So it's been a long time birthing.
Birthing, that's the word for Ceres. I consider her a doula. And just for you viewers who haven't, what Ceres, I mean, isn't she just a tiny little asteroid in the asteroid belt? Well, she contains total mass of everything that's in the asteroid belt. So she's the mother of the asteroid belt, if you like. And when was it Pluto was demoted to a dwarf planet? Was that in
2006?
Yeah. That was the same time she was elevated from asteroid to dwarf planet. So both her and Pluto share this dwarf planet status in our solar system family, which is very, very interesting because they are so tightly knit together in mythology as well. It's the triad between the daughter, the mother, and the ruler of the underworld, Pluto. So that's the whole story. It's all around these three players, these three archetypical players. So she is, and that's I think we agree. You mentioned it in your book, the opportunity of reading.
And she was actually designated as a planet first. when she was first discovered. But then when Vesta and Pallas Athena and other asteroids were discovered, they renamed her an asteroid. Astronomers, they don't know what they're talking about, right? But now they have discovered that, well, A, she's round for a start, and she contains water, and her topography is quite Earth-like in many ways. So she's definitely a planet, and I know they say dwarf planet because she's quite small, but I don't really care. She's powerful anyway. So.
Yeah. And her orb is about 4.5 years. So, I mean, she spends a lot of time retrograde. I mean, once she goes into a retrograde motion, she really stays there.
She
And
does, and out of bounds. She's probably one of the planets that goes most out of bounds for longest as well. So.
well, it kind of fits with the myth, though, because when Ceres, as the myth is the following: Ceres, aka Demeter, as she was known as in the Greek mythology. Let's just call her Ceres because that's what the planet is called. She had a daughter, and I've often Proserpina, and I've often wondered about this because I consider her like a super feminist. She wasn't married to anyone. She just had a daughter. She's very feminine, fertile, goddess of fertility, goddess of harvest. And often, when you have paintings of Ceres, you often have like grain and earth.
Yeah.
Earth and it's food and it's nourishment. And she's like this archetype. Her job is to be a mother in a way. She's like going around feeding people. And then she has a daughter. And I've often thought of this connection with the mother and the child. I know you have children, and I remember when my kids were small, the union between the mother and the child is everything. It's just perfect. Like even though it's tough and hard and blah blah blah, there is just like there's nothing missing in your life when you have that. Like there's just like this perfect union and the innocence of that. And when Proserpina is coming of age, she's being abducted by Pluto, who wants a wife because he's lonely in the underworld, and he's begging Jupiter, can't I just have her? And he's like, well, I don't think Sarah's gonna approve of that. Be pissed. She's so dependent on this kid. You can't just take away from her. So there's this series of dependencies and cycles and needing to move forward with your life because it's time. And you hold on to that innocence of childhood, I thought it was really tough. I had like this period of like serious grieving when I had to go because eventually Proserpina is being abducted by the Lord of the Underworld. And
that's the male written version of the myth.
Oh yeah. Enlighten us with do you have another well,
I think a lot of feminists are kind of visiting the myth to say, really it's archetypal, and she was coming of age, she was passionate and sexual as well, becoming sexual, and so in some ways she chose to go off and kind of lose her virginity and get married too. So
but her mother wouldn't have released her if she, I think that's also a theme that often comes up with Ceres when you look at her in a birth chart. These controlling mother energies. This like, my father always said he was so he had a like after my father and my mother divorced, he was in a relationship with a woman who's like very mothering and very nourishing and very like had those qualities, and he was kind of conflicted about it because on one hand it was very convenient,
Yes.
And on the other hand it was slightly controlling. So I remember we had that conversation once, and he said, you're caring when you're the caretaker, the care person, the person who's doing the caregiving. You're also the one who's in control.
Yes.
But there's Yeah.
There is that, yeah, yeah, and I really see Ceres both as that kind of mothering, nurturing kind of thing, but it's also our upbringing in general. So, the series in your chart can represent the most nurturing parent, or the culture that how that nurtured and fed you as well. It's not just the mother. I think the moon is still very much
Yeah.
related to the actual mother in your chart. Would you agree?
Well, I don't know. I tend to kind of like after I've like I did a lecture about Ceres in what was it, 2009 or something, and listened to
Yeah, you've done a few, haven't you, too?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was like the first big thing that I like. It was really like that's when I started to get serious about Ceres. But so I really
Yeah.
looked into it, and I like the thing that I've like learned, like kind of like I see that I do when I sit with a chart is that I
Mm.
tend to kind of look upon Ceres and the moon as relative to each other. Like they,
Oh, they're definitely connected. Yeah.
yeah. So like I like instead of just looking at the moon for nurturance and general just well, when we are brought up as kids, we don't like the challenge is to not neglect core
Yeah.
needs and like there's like this neglect where there's no nourishment of one's core needs. And it's not always obvious to the parents what that is, like because
Mhm.
they might have a projected idea what's good for the child, right? So there's something there that comes forth that both the moon and Ceres together, they talk about this environment, as you say, the way we grew up and our relationship to our care, well, the people who took care of us in one way or
Mm.
another.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, or didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's when
Yeah.
the neglect
Yeah.
aspects kick in.
Yeah. And of course, just to take the myth a little bit further, when Persephone or Proserpina, however, she's called different names in different cultures. When she went into the underworld, Ceres was so grief stricken that she caused a famine. And so the earth was literally barren at the time. And and that's really why she's related to food as well and things, as I believe. She also is said in the myth to have brought the grain to humans too. So there's the famine and the feeding and the nurturing, and
Mm.
you've related her a lot to eating disorders. I've not really worked with that side of it, but I agree that she would be. But do you know that she, in the myth, if you kind of follow it through to the reunion when they were reunified at the Eleusinian Mysteries, that was Demeter, Persephone, and Hades. She was hunting for Persephone for 9 days, which is about the time Venus is invisible during Mercury retrograde.
I didn't know that. There you go.
Because
The
I do that Venus retrograde class every Venus retrograde. So I work really, so I see Venus and Ceres and Pluto as also working together, the three of them.
Hmm,
Mhm.
interesting.
Mhm.
I think
Mm.
when you said that, like part of she's so much out of bounds, she's
Yeah,
walking, she's looking for her. I mean, she abducted a child and wanted to kind of make him immortal as like a compensation for the loss in a way, because there's this story of the loss of innocence and
yeah,
the loss of virginity, I'd say, like the like virginal, like as a mindset, like oh, so like she's wow, that happened and that can
yeah.
happen. That's how the world is. And who am I now when I'm not a mother? Like my identity is so tightly knit into being this person. Could be a
Yeah.
mother. I mean, if you have a strong Ceres and you're a man, maybe you feel like that towards your kids as well. So you might feel like when they grow up, I've seen it many times when they move out of the house, people lose
Mm.
themselves. It's like some part of them are just completely dead and gone,
Hmm.
and they have to identify themselves over and over again. So I see her very much related to the identification of the self
Hmm.
and how we move in cycles and we become different through each of these initiations. And
I
there's
agree.
life on the other end. So it's like, but right there and then when she's out of bounds, she's out there looking.
Mhm.
It's,
I know.
it's a little bit of a rough journey for most people, I think. There's a lot of grief coming up there.
Definitely, yeah, and collectively, I mean, that story of is really the story of the fall. In many ways, that kind of loss of innocence within human beings as well. So, and then the grief about what we've done. I associate her with climate change as well.
Yeah, and
She
that's her book, actually. Yeah.
She was discovered. She was discovered January 1st, 1801, right in the middle of the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of obvious what the Industrial Revolution has kind of done to the earth, or we have done through that, and how we've kind of literally kind of raped the earth in many ways. So I kind of feel like she's come back into our consciousness to say, stop it. you've got to change, kind of thing.
Yeah, there is one thing. There's not enough for everyone's greed, but there's enough for everyone's need. That's a Gandhi statement.
Oh,
He said that.
yes, there is.
That's such
Hmm.
a that's such a thing. Ceres could have said that, That would, yeah, like the greed. I think, sometimes the cause of suffering is to sometimes have to be on Earth and observe mankind's greed in a way, and
Yeah,
it's disappointing. There's some parts of our innocence can be lost in that, like we
yeah,
get lost in this Maya. But you mentioned the this is a word that's hard for us Norwegians. The Eleusinian, yes?
Eleusinian. It took me a long time to get the word right.
The Norwegian one. Eleusinian.
Yeah,
It goes like that was a mystery school that went on for like thousands of years, and
it did, and it was kind of, it was in the Greek Eleusinia that where it's held, but I believe that was a mystery rite that was brought in by the Greeks from, centuries before. I
ah,
think it's,
mm,
you know, I think it's rites to the mother goddess, really, about rebirth and reunion. Nobody really knows what happened at them, but they had to go underground in Greece, so that's I think why they're called mystery rites, because the patriarchy was beginning to take hold. So they had to get hidden, and eventually they were destroyed, taken out. So
yeah, yeah. Eventually, yes, this mystery, and I think it's like that's a real lack. I've been thinking a lot about, what is it that we really need in terms of being, I mean, being more happy and satisfied and at peace with life. What is it that, how can we hold, how important is it to, you know, let yourself be one with nature's cycles, like having, because the rite itself, even though we don't know much about it, it was an initiation rite in a way, the
it
initiate,
was.
and it was an
Mhm.
initiation to the eternity of everything and the fear of death. So, and
Yeah.
like fear of change and the eternity of spirit, like a
Mm.
realization thing. They even suggest that they did something called kykeon, which is a slightly like psychoactive substance that makes you kind of see through the veil and see that there is no death. So there's no need to be full of angst and control and fixations, because that's the human condition. We're born into this really weird rock thing. We live on the third
I
rock.
know.
And then it's like, where are we anyway? And
And
then,
we believe we're somehow separate from it in many ways, and we're actually not. So you know.
And I think it's so scary as well. You see all these things happening in nature, for instance, like the big cycles coming in. Like they use the myth of Ceres to explain why there's seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's death every year in nature. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I think, especially now that I'm past 50, I've been thinking a lot about the cycles of life. I've gone through a couple of
Mm-hmm.
them, and if I had especially when I was younger, and my parents went through this typically thing that's like a very like if you have a dominant Ceres in your chart, there might be a nasty divorce of some parents. You
Mm.
go through some security stuff that was challenged, and that was the case with me. So if I
Mm.
had known then the wisdom in Ceres that you can grieve the changes that are like, oh, I'm just going through a rough patch, like it's more than that. You're going through a whole redefinition of your identity. You're going through one of the seasonal changes of your life. You need time to
Yeah.
self just be in that process, because
Mm.
I think the myth of Ceres, even though all the mythologies talk about a process, it becomes extremely evident that this is a process. Like
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it's about all kinds of things. Like, but I Marshall Rosenberg, have you ever heard of
oh
him? He
yeah,
did
yeah,
nonviolent communication, but
yeah.
he also did talked about unmet needs, right? So I think series comes in many ways comes down to needs met and unmet, and and that can lead to all kinds of um, processes of healing if once you discover her, whether it's food disorders or discovering her in my chart was a revelation for me, really, and working with her about how my needs were not met as a child just because of circumstance, just the way things were, but learning to fill those gaps myself so that I could learn to fill my own needs or
Hmm.
be in situations that would meet my needs, because really we are a self-contained system within all systems, to go quantum science. And, our chart contains every part of us, right? So, Ceres, you go to Ceres in your chart to see where your needs were met or unmet and how you can perhaps work through that and heal it. So, I think.
I don't know if you saw that. We recently had a series symposium there was like a bunch
I
of
did,
teachers who
yeah.
got together, and Faye Blake, an astrologer. Well, she's probably originally, oh gosh, I could be wrong, but she's British American or something, and then she lives in Amsterdam. She was on after I had done my little thing, and she talked about something like I had like the way she put it into words made it really. It was so nice to listen to. She
Mm.
brought in the perspective of Ceres in your birth chart might show what type of environment you need to be in order to feel nourished. And I thought
Yeah.
that's a very positive, like kind of like approach to series. I tend to go very much into the psychotherapy and what happened and blah blah blah, instead of thinking of what kind of what kind of environment would you appreciate to be in, and what did you learn from that environment? Like you have Ceres in Capricorn, right?
I have Ceres in Capricorn, and it's also just 5 degrees away from Saturn in
Oh,
Capricorn. And I moved here, which is my Saturn line, funnily enough.
oh,
And
mm.
I live in Salt Lake City, by the way. And
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
those listening, I'm British originally, but I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, in the States on my Saturn line. And I'm much happier here.
You are.
A lot of people, would go, "Oh, you can't Saturn line," and
Well,
yeah,
maybe
hmm
that's where you really find focus, concentration, nourishment, professional
hmm
inspiration, like all the things that, Ceres in. Capricorn, so you grew up a place where your needs weren't met because people were
Mhm.
working so hard, right? They were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
grinding.
And we were very and we were very working class, and you know there's a kind of elder kind of energy of in Capricorn, and I'm the eldest of three brothers, and my mum was very young really when she got married, and she was only 21 when she had me, and then 15 months later a brother, and 3 years later another one, and then 7 years later, and I was just given so much responsibility for,
Hmm.
because it was a very patriarchal upbringing too, you know. So you know, I was kind of like the second mother, if you like, in the family, and I didn't want to be because Capricorn can be really independent too. So I moved away in the end,
Yeah, and it's
created my own structure.
yeah, your own little
Mm-hmm.
empire.
Yeah.
Louise
Mm-hmm.
Edington's empire.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I have my Ceres is in Aquarius, and Pluto is just there for the time being, and I'm going through this kind of process of having a child that is about to move out from the house and all
Mm-hmm.
these things. He's growing up, blah, blah, blah. And it's really like, there's one part of me that goes, yay, more freedom. And then there's, because it's in Aquarius, and I was always given, I was like, one of the things that really it colored my childhood, for better and worse, was that I was always given a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
You go ahead. Like
Yeah.
it was a little like, okay, keychain kid with like,
Mm-hmm.
but like they settle into my business, like I would assume that this Saturn Ceres conjunction is a little bit more like you have to do this, and it's more like duty bound.
Yes.
Da, 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 da,
Oh, very much so, you know.
Yeah,
Um, always stay with my longtime best friend when we go back to visit England. She's like, because she knows my brothers and everything too. And she's like, you always had to go home to do chores and work while the brothers just did what they wanted, you know. So, and, you know, I was left as the babysitter when I was
yeah,
from 10, from age 10. Yeah.
yeah. But you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Rosenberg. Is
Mm-hmm.
that's Marshall? That's his first name, right? I,
Yes. Yeah.
I just know him as the founder of non.
Non-violent
Yeah,
communication.
I
Yeah.
mean, love that because there's this beautiful Spotify 6 or 7 episode series where it goes through everything like very beautifully, and
Mm-hmm.
I sat down with that and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and especially what you mentioned there, with unmet needs and how it is our responsibility as adults to take care of them, and if we can't have what we need from a person that is supposedly but normally should be the one who might satisfy that need, it might not be like they have anything to give, or they can't give, or they're prevented from
Yeah.
giving, or they themselves are going through something, and then that need
Oh,
is to be
absolutely.
met. And I think he says it so beautifully, but you can't
Mm.
not have, I mean, this need is not going anywhere. It's still there.
Yeah.
Like you can't really debate with it. And then he says we should all learn to have a more expanded vocabulary when it comes to our needs.
He's actually got a, well, he's no longer with us, is he? But on the website about his non-violent communication, there's a fabulous PDF you can download of like all these needs words
Oh, really?
and things. It's fun.
Well,
Yeah. Hmm.
out. I really, because it's so, there is something with Ceres as well that is, she's moving inward. She's working with herself. She's exploring something that she wouldn't be exploring if it hadn't been for the abduction of her daughter. It was something that life itself put into motion. It wasn't her will, and it gives the perfect opportunity for they call it the search phase, where you're searching for something, you're trying to figure out, okay, so I've had this child or like this occupation for such a long time, or I played this role for such a long time, and now I can't play this role, or I don't have it anymore. Then what is it in me that this very often there can be addictions also, you know, the when
Hmm. Hmm.
what is it, the void that our
Yeah.
control mechanisms are kind of like covering up. And then
Yeah.
you're put in direct connection with the void, the place with no voice yet.
Hmm.
And you have to find the needs in a way. You have to do it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to download that one because it's
Hmm.
very often when you ask people, so what is it that you need? They
Hmm.
they do
They
exactly.
don't know.
No, they talk about some other person or something that is
Yeah.
showing up the way that they should, what we expected, and
Mm.
it's really like, and I'm like, yeah, that, but that you're just talking about what happens in your life, right? What makes you frustrated,
Yeah.
but you haven't put a word, you haven't voiced the need yet.
Mm. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And it's like a
True.
little bit of awakening, like, whoa, oh, you're quite right, you know, like.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating to work with. And I kind of came to this, and just to go back to the myth, we talked about the Eleusinian mystery rites. Really, those rites were an initiation of the cycles, but also of reunification, because it was those rites where she was actually reunited with Persephone for 6 months of the year, and she came back together. So if you just speak about it archetypally, that was bringing kind of like the mind, body, and soul back together again. Everything was made whole, and that's within us. And it's the only way we can become um, really fulfilled human beings, I think, is to work on all those parts of ourselves. That's like parts work, internal family systems, to heal how you respond to these outer kind of traumas or whatever's happened in your life. The trauma therapy for internal family systems is fabulous because you're not talking about what somebody did to you anymore. You're talking about how you respond to it and how you can work with that. So,
And that's something you integrate in your work with clients, like when you
mhm,
approach somebody with, because
mhm,
you touch upon that in the book as well, like the practical aspects of how to work with Ceres in your life, and there was some very good suggestions there for each, Ceres placement, and so
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, because we are different. You know, like I see right now, Ceres is in Aries, and I've met, and like I tend to, because maybe because my Ceres is in Aquarius and I like independent people who I'm like, oh, that makes me relax. I don't have to think for them. They can take initiative. When somebody can take
yeah,
initiative, I'm like, yay, I love this. You know, like, and Ceres in Aries people tend to be extremely independent, dynamic, maybe
yeah,
had to be so because they grew up with a single mother who had to work
yeah,
jobs or something like that. That could easily be like the experience of growing up with Sarah's in it.
mm,
But you just get this message. You better make it. You have to carry your own 2 feet through this life. You know, like it's not like you will have a crutch or somebody to depend on. So they're super independent, almost to a
mhm,
fault. You know, like
yeah. Yeah, and as a transit with Ceres in Aries, it's a good time for people to try and embody some of those qualities, even if they have, say, I don't know, Ceres in Cancer or something like that, which can be more kind of needy emotionally. But in some ways, it's time to kind of say, no, I can work and be more independent and fill my own needs more, not expecting others to do it. It's
exactly.
great if other people do, but if you can't expect them to, really.
Yeah, she's going to be in Aries for quite a long time, actually, because she's going retrograde in Aries. Last time she went retrograde was in Capricorn, actually. You know, she's like,
Yeah.
Will you please get out of Capricorn? I was a little tired after a while there. I noticed I was like, that was quite the intense transit with Ceres,
Uh,
right? Because I mean, she spends so long in one sign, and there's like this incredible, tangible focus on these qualities. And because she's spending so much time in Aries this year, I think that's very good actually, because we've felt powerless to do something about our lives, and this
mhm.
is like taking initiative and like, well, if I can't have this need met, Jupiter is also in Cancer, right? And it's going to be
Yeah.
square Ceres on quite a few occasions. So
Mhm.
there's this whole like setting where we're kind of reflecting over our needs as independent human beings, maybe compared to what we're addicted to or dependent on or overly dependent. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Or attached to. I mean, attachment theory is, to people, things, places, memories as well. It's kind of perhaps a time to say, well, I can't change my upbringing, my past, what
Hmm.
happened. So, but what can I choose to do now with my life and make of it?
Hmm.
Um, you know.
Yeah.
So, it's not about dismissing trauma. It's just about not letting it hold you anymore, I think.
That is very
Mm.
true. I think that really is like part of the healing process when you finally get there and you see that I am
Mhm.
not what happened to me.
Yeah,
I am
exactly.
I'm not an object. I am a human being. I'm not what happened to me. I live in nature. I live with humanity. I go through cycles.
Hmm.
Uh, it happens. Life, like we tend to take life very personal. Like it happened to
Hmm.
me, so it must be my punishment for some mischief I did in my previous lifetime or something like that. Of course, we're not allowed
Yeah.
to do it. I mean, then we would be free from flaws, I guess, but we're not there
Mhm.
yet. So it's taking a little bit of time.
I don't know if we'll ever be free from flaws, but
Oh, we're
I
getting,
think I think part of it as well is accepting that we are flawed.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate form of safety because it's completely unconditional.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, of course I make mistakes. I mean, don't you?
Mhm.
I don't make them intentionally. Like,
No,
it's not like I intentionally go around wanting to hurt people but it happens, you know?
it does. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I like what she's doing in Aries. I can feel that,
Mm.
like it's really like it's a good time
Mm.
to find something inside of yourself that is uniquely,
Mm.
Aries inside of yourself, like this authentic voice. uh,
Mm-hmm.
and find the courage maybe even to express it.
Yeah.
And
Hmm. And whether you need a good astrology reading with somebody who works with these things like you or me, or whether you need to go and find an internal family systems therapist or somebody who works with that kind of approach, it's a good time to do it, I think, in
mm,
Aries, to take
yeah,
that initiative. Yeah.
like a fresh
Hmm.
start. It's time for a fresh, new perspective on my past. Like, I am not what happened to me. That's not my identity. So, who am I?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Because I see
Mm.
once we come to that spot in our life, and that's where also these unmet needs become vocalized, it's because we're
Hmm.
not making ourselves into a thing anymore. I'm not a thing, I'm not an object. And I think that's
I'm not a victim. I'm not, I don't have to be, it just happened. Life happens. We're born into it, maybe to learn something, or to how to deal with it. But, if I read so much stuff, and, if we go to something like Gabor Mate, he said everybody has trauma of some kind, little t or big T, and it's a traumatic society at the moment that we live in, for sure. It's the only thing we can do really is choose. to be the best we can and the most kind of healed person we can be, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if we're ever completely healed, but but we could choose not to let it define us for sure.
I
Yeah.
believe in, I believe in, I believe in that type of reunification actually with the innocence again.
Mhm.
I can feel it, like once there's a new way of meeting yourself, a healthier way, a more unconditional approach, or a completely
Yeah.
unconditional approach. This childish energy that is like that she,
Mhm.
like, I mean, isn't that the irony? The older we get, the more like, and if we live life and we work on ourselves and we find
Mhm.
ways to meet ourselves, also
Yeah.
really, really bad days where we probably made some mistakes we shouldn't have had.
Oh, we still have bad days, but
Yeah.
I've the book was also birthed out of my own journey, of course, as well. With Ceres and the planets and astrology. But I can show you how literally it shows up because it really the past since my Uranus square, actually, my second Uranus square at age 63, I went on this massive journey of healing mind, body, and spirit. Lots of things. And I'm 65, nearly 66 now. Can't believe that. But I go to this gym where we have these scales that takes your metabolic age, and I've aged backwards like Benjamin Button. I'm 45 on their scales now.
Oh wow. You did pretty well though. Yeah.
because I and it's not just a physical thing. I've been choosing more joy. I'm doing things that are fun more, and so if you really take your healing journey head on, then it's very fulfilling, and I'm happier probably in myself than I've ever been in my life. And
There's
so I would, yeah.
so this is the reunification with innocence and the childish solar fire of
Mhm.
joy and happiness. I mean, she's so carefree, this Proserpine,
Mhm.
she's out there smelling the flowers and just
Yeah.
enjoying herself. And I think that's also one way of nourishing yourself when you start
Mm.
yourself healthy things like
Exactly.
uplifting thinking, for instance, or giving
Mhm.
yourself space, allowance, like, yeah, of course you can have that. That is like, instead of second guessing your needs, you're like, that's so understandable that you need those things. When we show up for ourselves as a caring mother, I think the reunification has been accomplished. And then there's this, I don't know, there's this capacity to be in this world and at the same time not be swallowed up by the poisons and polluted by the rivers or whatever it is, like it doesn't, it's there, of course. I mean, it gives,
Mm.
I'm not free from grieving, at all.
Oh, me neither.
Like,
Yeah,
but
but
that,
I don't let that. I don't stay in that space.
let it
Yeah.
define you. It doesn't, it's like,
Hmm. Hmm.
not the end.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Ceres ultimately tells us. Oh, it's not the end. Do you think that's
Mm.
It said that Platon himself went through the mystery rites.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he has this beautiful concept of death as being the realm of ideas. And I love
Mm.
that. I'm like, so you return to the realm of ideas. You're still something. You're like conscious,
Mm.
but without a body. And then,
Mhm.
according to him,
Well, I mean, quantum science now is even kind of saying, well, are you really physically here? Or do you just believe that you're really here?
yeah,
But that's a whole other thing.
going to be very exciting to see what Pluto in Aquarius is going to cough up of scientific progress because buckle up,
Mm.
people. It's going to be
Oh, I,
incredible.
I think it's going to be incredible, and
Yeah.
especially with um, with Uranus in Gemini and Neptune in Aries, and the three all speaking to each other uh, over the next few months in a big way.
Mhm.
And that zero Aquarius is just such a hotspot because, of course, we had the Jupiter Saturn conjunction, the great mutation, 200 years energy of air, but we also had that Venus Ceres Pluto conjunction
Mhm.
on December the 7th last year at 0 Aquarius.
It's the
And
whole.
I know signs and ages are different, but we're definitely moving into this like quantum realm, and new science is going to be, we're moving out of this earthbound kind of
Yeah.
energy.
It's so funny, the Pluto in Capricorn transit from 2008 until uh, 2023
Mm.
brought up a lot of old stuff that I thought we were done with. It's like,
Oh.
oh, a lot of good ancestral healing for sure. I mean, history and everything we had to look at with
Mm-hmm.
different ties.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm
And
hoping,
we're still kind of dealing with
yeah,
how we move beyond that. But yeah.
for sure.
Mm.
And
Mm.
in this process of now, I'm hoping that this more quantum understanding, like energy, like we are energy beings. We are, I call us little flowers in a way, and
Mm-hmm. We
how
are.
we open up to we're
It's kind of mind blowing, you know.
flowers. Tom Robbins is one
Yeah.
of my favorite authors, and he wrote this book. I think it's in Jitterbug Perfume. He wrote this book where he talks about the brain. And he does it. He
Mm.
says like then you have like the reptilian brain, and then the mammalian brain, and then he calls it the floral brain. That's the cognitive part of it. It's the floral brain. It's where the essence is, and I love that. It gives me the image of being nature. And when I
Yeah.
do meditation, I often imagine being a flower that receives through photosynthesis, the rays of the sun. It's my
Mm.
nourishment in a way.
Ooh, that's a nice
Yeah,
idea to meditate like that.
yeah, because it's really simple. You have the stem, that's the spine, right? And then you have the crown here, and that's the flower. And it opens up every night, every day. The flowers, they close at night when there's no sun, and then it opens up, and then it's just like it's eating. It's basically eating. And I think that's also something that once you connect with soul and spirit and body and emotion and everything is kind of like realigned, you have an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to really to receive nourishment, to be in a receptive
Yeah.
state of nourishment even if nothing is happening. You're not in a fancy class or but it's such an easy image for people to visualize when they try to meditate, to be a flower. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's floral brain.
Oh,
Be a
I
flower.
might have to go. I might go and read that book. I love the idea of the floral brain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
great. It's such a good book.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should read it.
Mm.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talks.
Because well, I mean, we are nature. We are, are, I think for the past however many centuries, we've believed that we control nature, but no, we are nature. We're our DNA, mushrooms and fungi. We have so much in common with the DNA of fungi. So
Mm.
it's like, and we're like these neural networks, if you like. So
Yeah.
just.
Just give people a minute and they will discover that they are something more than what they thought. And that nourishment is, you become more intuitive with your environment when you understand that you receive and also send out signals. What type of signals do you want to receive? What is it that nourishes your soul? You become more authentic
Oh,
and
you do.
yeah, yeah, you have to pay more, you have to taste it. You have to taste the
Mm,
food. You have to feel it. You have to be,
mm,
there is like a connection here that is being made
mm.
that I think a lot of us, unfortunately, glued to our phones and in a very hectic life where we are under massive amounts of pressure just to survive.
Yeah,
It's it's always possible to slow down time and tune in, but
it
it's
is.
so easy to forget as well because it's so hectic. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And you see, we even forget to breathe, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They've studied it. When you're on your phone, your breathing becomes more shallow. But
Yeah. Hmm.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
wow. It's like you are making yourself more hectic in a way. Like
Hmm.
conf
Yeah.
can confuse the rhythms,
Mm.
rhythm of life. I'm a
Yes.
fan of rhythm. It's like when you find a
Yeah. Me
rhythm,
too. Yeah. Me
your
too.
rhythm. And people have different rhythms. You know, my rhythm is pretty
It is.
swift. Vroom.
Oh, mine is too.
Yeah,
Sagittarius. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But you know, the more you do this kind of work, and you could literally say that the astrology chart, you could turn to work with that as healing from the inside out. You actually have you attract healthier relationships in general. Then, when you are more whole and more fulfilled and more healed, or whatever you want to say, um, everything works more, better, whatever, in a happier way. I don't
Every
know
more,
how.
better, bigger.
Yeah.
It's very serious of you.
I mean,
I
but
like,
I always say to my clients who come going, when will I find a relationship or whatever? I said, well, when you're happy in yourself, you'll attract a really good relationship if you're meant to.
like I have my Ceres in the second house in Aquarius. And like,
Hmm.
there's other Aquarian things, my Aquarius Sun and Jupiter.
Yeah, you.
I'm very much in my second house, Taurus.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I've been
you're
single.
very independent, aren't
Yeah,
you?
and
So
like I've been
yeah.
single for 7 years now. Like, and I don't mind, like I was like
Oh,
sometimes we,
yeah, but you're not seeking it. So
no, no,
I'm talking about
it's,
people that really want to.
yes, of
Yeah.
course. But I think when we talked about that's also where we can use Ceres in our birth charts to see what we really need. And I found peace with that because other parts of me is like, oh, I should probably be in a relationship,
Because society tells us we should.
It's like, other parts of me. And I'm also a mammal, so I also have other needs, right?
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But that core need, maybe Ceres is what I'm like, core needs. What are they? The core needs, the ones you can't compromise whatsoever. And I think when you look at Ceres in your birth chart, you find some like core needs. For instance, let's just play around with your Ceres Saturn conjunction. It's in the first house? Yeah.
First house. Yeah.
Very powerful, very dynamic. You need to kind of like be your own manager. You need to be your own boss. You can't really have anybody hovering over you and telling you what to do. Been there, done that, not happening again. Because also, I've
I
lost.
tried I tried jobs when I was younger. Never never worked.
Yeah, and also having that family always demanding something from you.
Yeah.
Like you have to do this, that, and the other, and tying up your time, the time you could
Hmm.
spend doing something completely different, and you knew what that was once you got the opportunity. It was like, you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
knew.
Pluto dug that out actually.
Yeah,
We moved here right as Pluto moved into Capricorn, and that's where when I decided to become a professional astrologer and start writing books, which I'd always wanted to do. It took me till Pluto went into Capricorn to do it. There you go.
Yeah,
Excavated.
yeah, wonderful. But
Hmm.
it's just a little like glimpse into what you can learn from yourself if you look at
Hmm.
placement in your chart. A little bit
And
about
you might not have to wait for a Pluto to dig it out of you
no.
if you go and if you start to understand it before that. So,
Yeah, well, maybe a Ceres Saturn conjunction in Capricorn needed a Pluto. It had to be,
I think it did. I think it
man.
did.
Well, I
Yeah.
have Pluto conjunct Ceres these days, and it's been
Mm.
epiphany, like in terms of like perspective, in terms of what I really need. I think I've like come to peace with how much I need my independence and my freedom more than ever before. It's like it used to be a little bit scary to be that independent, but now I understand that actually it's just how I function, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I've kind of obviously done readings for people with Ceres in Aquarius and placements, and I'll say, yeah, we have those mammalian needs as well, but you could be in a partnership where you kind of just live next door. You don't have to live with somebody.
Yeah, for instance, or you can do the quantum mechanics thing. Like you don't really have
Yeah,
it's like it's enough just touching their energies, like
yeah,
I
yeah.
find a lot of nourishment in that, really truly connecting on an energy level with people. I was thinking about you when I mean, we've been Facebook friends for a couple of years, and I know how there's fire in your sometimes pages, and you get engaged and stuff. And there was recently
Mm.
a South Park show that made it viral. Yeah, I thought shit about
You-
well, you know who.
yes. Oh,
So,
yeah.
when
And oh, yes, it's a great South Park episode if you haven't seen it, people.
South Park.
I
So
know, and I've managed not to post about it on Facebook.
I
So
saw that.
I don't.
Oh, Louise did not post about it. What's going on? I thought because the thing is, I had to look up Matt Stone and what is it, Trey something.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember
Hmm.
his last name.
Can't remember his last
Yeah.
name either.
And I had to look up their charts, and of course, they're like Gemini and Libra, and like it's very airy energy, and with everything going on in air signs, I'm not surprised that they are kind of like being catapulted into even more legendary status than they,
Yeah,
they were quite legendary. Now they are really.
extra legendary.
They're,
Yes.
they're kind of like relevant politically, like they're doing
Mm,
something that is very much what we see the Pluto in Aquarius will be. It's kind of like the voices of the people going against the oligarchy in a way.
mhm.
So this is
It
like,
is.
can't do this
Mm,
shit to us anymore. And this is like the social revolution that comes out of the before mentioned Uranus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius. We're going to have that until 2020, what, 2028, 29,
yeah,
finding each other for
yeah.
quite a while,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
That's going to be a lot of South Park episodes
I know.
with
I look forward to it.
I mean, it's so liberating to actually be able to just like laugh a little bit, but of course these two people, Matt and Trey, they are a Libra and Gemini, and the Libra one's got Ceres exactly um,
Oh, I
Aquarius.
hadn't thought to look at their
No,
charts.
no, no, no. And I saw it just the other day because I was
Mm,
like, I gotta check out their
mm,
charts. What's going on there? Because something's got to go. And of course,
yeah.
as astrologer, I was just taking note. Oh, there's a lot going on. And I know Ceres in early degrees Aquarius. I think it's
Mm,
0 degrees. So he's on that hotspot Aquarian series, yeah. And I thought that
yeah,
was so interesting because he kind of reflects something that is so important for humans,
yeah.
the need to be able to think completely freely and express yourself, think freely, like being able to kind
Mm,
of think freely and be in an environment where that's supported,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
even if we might disagree.
Do you want to bring some humour into it? There's rumour that that certain person is going to sue South Park, of course, because he sues everybody. But I saw a post that somebody said the discovery is going to be interesting because the episode implies that he has a very small member, shall we say? So
How do you
how do
prove?
they prove?
How do you not? That's the thing. I guess you have to reveal it to us, though. We're all one. Well, I think at least the reflection around like people's like need to kind of like be able to speak freely, even
Mhm.
there's so much censorship going on now. The cancellation culture has been taken really, really to the possible. And yeah,
But they can't anymore though, because you know, uh, Colbert got cancelled, but he'll just go and do a show on YouTube or
yeah, I
something.
think so
So
too. For sure. We have to check Colbert's chart. It's time to check out the.
yes. And I don't know, you perhaps don't watch him over there, but he, since they've told him his show's being cancelled next May, he is not holding back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He is
They gave him 10
speaking
months,
word
and
of
they gave him 8 months or something to just go
hmm
completely loose cannon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's doing it.
Well, let's just get. I
Yeah.
like Uranus return for the United States chart. It's very around. It's just around the corner. The
It
Uranus,
is.
and it's been
Yeah.
associated with some very intense changes for the United States in general. So, fingers.
Oh, well, it's been, with civil war and things like that. But I kind of think we're in a war already anyway.
Yeah.
So. War of ideas. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, we are
Okay.
in some exciting waves astrologically speaking, and I think that's a very good spot to kind of take your series more seriously, because she's going to ground you into earth and help you relate to everything that's going on in a sane and healthy way, where you find the nourishment you need in order to be in this time that we're all living through, making history, as we say. We're part of history. We are what's happening. So, and it can be hard on the body, mind, and the soul. So, it's a good time to really work with your series. And Louise, so if people want to get your book, tell me, what can they do?
Well, it's being published on August the 12th on Amazon, and it's being distributed to other places like Barnes and Noble and things like that. But you can also pre-order signed copies directly from me. I'm self-publishing, so I have a publishing website, sacredthreadsimprint.com, signed copies. But it's also available for pre-order on Amazon now as well.
Wonderful.
Hard. So it's Ceres in astrology, and I'm Cosmic Owl Astrology, so you can find me everywhere.
Yeah, and I love the cover of that book. Show us once more. It's such a beautiful design. I really, that is just gorgeous.
I
Yeah.
designed it.
With the poppies? Yeah, the poppy was
Yes.
the poppies were.
Poppy is one of Ceres symbols, yeah. And of course, it's related to opium too. So it's you got that psychedelic kind of side to it, and there's the wheat as well. So yeah,
You designed
proud
it?
of it. I did.
Oh wow. Okay, that's seriously impressive. I really fell in love with the cover. I thought it was such a beautiful cover. It's one of the best, that's kind of like such a good cover for a series book. I must really, really, wow. That's
Well,
amazing.
I did it with the help of AI, ChatGPT, but I got the ideas through that, and then I created it in Canva.
Oh, old-fashioned. I haven't gotten into the chat GPT or AI stuff. I'm Aquarius. I don't know what I'm doing. So weird. All right. Anyways, and I will post your links and where people can find you, and you're available for readings, and where they can find
Yeah,
you and everything under the podcast. So yeah, nice and nourishing meeting again. It was lovely to see
yeah, with you too. Yeah.
you. I hope the rest of your summer will be, yeah, maybe not that warm. It's been a hot summer.
Oh, it's in the 90s every day here,
Oh my,
Fahrenheit.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, scorching.
So I walk every day. So I always walk early before the sun comes up over the mountains because I can't. And then I stay in.
I say no. Oh, that's really hot.
Mhm.
So it's been like this all summer.
Oh.
Oh,
Hmm.
well. You should come to the fresh west coast of Norway. I mean, it's all,
Yeah. I wish I could come to your retreat. It sounds
yeah.
amazing.
Well, it's
Too
going to
much.
I think so. Like it's she's an amazing
Mm,
artist, and
mm,
this type of experiential astrology, like just connecting with your mythic soul, as we chose to call it, I think
yeah.
it's a lot of this reunification, reconnection work. Of course,
Mm,
everything that comes with it, like have some yoga, do some swims, saunas, and the
mm.
Norwegian woods. Just being deep in the Norwegian woods on a high like altitude, far away from like Norway is this country where
With really long days. 'Cause,
no, they're getting shortened now though, but it's like
yeah.
it does have a lot of space. I mean, there's not so much. We have like a very small population. It's only 5.5 and our country million people, and our country is the
Mhm.
size of Japan. And I don't know how many Japanese people live in Japan, maybe 140 million, maybe.
It
But we have
sounds idyllic to me.
like yoo-hoo, there's a space. We have space. It's such a, and today that's such a luxury. So
Mm,
just,
mm,
yeah, I'm really, really happy to host something in the Norwegian
mm.
nature. It's a
Yeah.
jewelry. All
Well,
right,
maybe if you do another one, I'll try
yeah,
and get
you'll
there.
pop by. Yeah, that I'll notify you. So,
Yeah.
okay, Louise, I'm gonna.
Okay. Thank you so for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for showing.